Hello, Aries. This is your monthly reading for April. As you can see, I already pulled some cards here for you guys. We have Mask, Not Showing True Feelings, Hide Persona, Personify, Pretend, Dilute, Gaslighting. We have Lightning, Sudden Change, Shocking News, Surprises, Epiphany, Upheaval, Transformation. We have Hammer, Sabotage, Rebuilding, Integration, Reputative, Persistent, Working on it. And then we have Separation, Sadness, Missing You, Thinking about You, Yearning, Unsure of Future. And we have Axe, Breaking Up, Separation, Stop the Pattern, Silent Treatment, Abandonment. And we have Addiction in the back of that shadowy aspect. Codependent, obsession, possession, controlling, has a block, and resistant. All right, before we get started, I do want to say that this is a general reading, so it may or may not apply to every single Aries out there. Keep in mind, if you are cross-watching, you are welcome, but it might be vice versa. So you might resonate more on the Aries side. It's okay. Again, take whatever resonates and then leave the rest. Not every single message will be in this for you. I am picking up multiple energies and multiple people. So just keep that in mind. Right off the bat, I do want to say I just got done doing the Scorpio reading, and Scorpio had Mask and Separation. So I'm just saying that if you guys might be dealing with a Scorpio. I just thought I would point that out there. So what I am already picking up for a lot of you guys, Aries, is I'm getting that for some of you, there have been people around you that have been wearing masks, people around you that have been going behind your back. I've been getting the feeling kind of backstabbed, feeling like the people around you aren't genuine and they lie to you to your face, but then like will go behind your back and say things that aren't true about you and start drama. I'm getting that really heavily for quite a few of my Aries. I'm also kind of getting that for some of you guys have been kind of self-sabotaging in a lot of ways. You guys have been you guys are just staying in a lower vibrational energy that you guys are trying to break free of. I'm kind of getting the feeling that you guys are wanting to rebuild and integrate things in your life that will be more uplifting. I'm also kind of getting that for some of you, you guys have been kind of in separation from people. You've been kind of isolating yourself. And I think that a lot of people, that's where some of the gossip comes from, is also just you not being around. So these people feel like they can talk about it more. And I'm also kind of getting, just for some of you guys, you could have just broken up with a person, or a person broke up with you. And what was happening is, I feel like for quite a bit of my Aries, it was a feeling of abandonment that really struck you guys hard. I think that if for some of you guys have not been talking to somebody that you've cared about, because I think that for some of you guys have broken up and you're missing this person as well. So for it's a lot of heavy energies that I am feeling for my Aries people right now. And I think that what's going on for quite a bit of you is you guys are starting to see things. You got everybody's right now. Perceptions and things have been shifting, things that you thought are changing. So it's kind of an interesting right now, because everybody's shifting perspectives about situations. And for a lot of you guys, I think that your perception of people are shifting and changing. And I think for some of you, you guys are kind of evaluating who's truly my friend and who isn't. And right now, I think that you're kind of paying attention to what people are saying or doing at this time. And I think for quite a bit of my Aries, you guys have been feeling deep sadness, because I think that specific friends, or this could be a partner or a friend or a family member. Again, there's a lot of you, so just take what resonates for you. Um, Because what I'm kind of getting here is, for some of you guys have cut this person out of your life because this person is wearing a false mask, and it really hurts you that, to your core, that this person would do this. And I think that a lot of you guys have obsessed over the idea of who you thought this person was, and feeling like a fool. I think a lot of Aries right now are feeling kind of that energy of mistakes, feeling like you have made a big mistake, feeling stupid, things like that. But I think what's happening is, what's going on right now is you having to take that time to reflect upon other people. I think you're starting to have kind of epiphanies about situations. I think that there have been patterns going on in your life a lot, Aries, and I think that for some of you, you guys have decided to put a stop to it. I think that for a lot of my Aries, you guys again have separated yourself from people. Of course, right now, given the circumstances, a lot of people feel separated. A lot of people feel alone. And I'm getting that kind of heavily for a lot of my Aries people, is you guys feeling quite alone. You guys feeling quite um not feeling very appreciated either. And I'm getting that you guys are going through a lot of um introspecting and healing at this time. But what I'm really picking up for quite a bit of you is a lot of it has to do with abandonment issues, feelings of abandonment. And I think that for quite a bit of you, that has been something lingering more in your mind, feeling kind of like you have been used and then this person left you or something like that. It's just, there is something going on here for my Aries, that it feels kind of like a breaking point for you guys, that you guys are now starting to separate your guys' selves and really learning to acknowledge your feelings in this situation, and having to take that step. And I think for quite a bit of you guys have been trying to find a way to allow yourself to make a decision. I think that for a lot of you guys, because so many, I think a lot of stuff has happened. And I think for some of you guys had a sudden change, or somebody gives you news about something and it just completely changes your perspective. It completely changes you, and it kind of catches you off guard. And I think for some of you guys had to come down to a final decision about an outcome. And for a lot of you guys, you have the shadowy aspect, you have the Page of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. It's like you guys came down to a decision, and I think for some of you guys, it was, I've come to this decision that I'm going to keep my pentacle. I'm not going to give it away to a specific person in your life. Because I think what's going on for a lot of my Aries is, I think you guys are starting to figure out what where you should be focusing your energy on. It's kind of like, where do I want to go? I think for a lot of you guys, it's focusing on rebuilding parts of your life and rebuilding aspects of yourself. So that is quite a bit so far. And honestly, I think that this is going to be an interesting energy for you guys right now, because everybody is in this awkward phase, I swear, because everybody's ending old cycles and beginning anew. And it's because it's spring. It's that it's the we're starting to get to that time where things are starting to change for people. Stuff are starting to spring anew. Things are dying in order for new things to be created. So that's what's really going on for quite a bit of people. And I mean, honestly, Aries, I think that what's going on for you guys is, you guys have been putting a halt to something. You're putting a stop to something. You're saying enough is enough. So I think that you've been around people who have been not being honest with you directly. And I think that it's been causing you to really have to look within. And honestly, it feels kind of like you really don't want to, Aries. It's kind of like you're afraid to introspect, because what's going on is, I think in order for you to, because I think that you've always known that that these whether it's a friend or a relationship or a family member, I'm getting a mixed bag here of people that are in Aries life. It doesn't have to always be romantic, you know. I don't like to just focus on romance, but I feel like what's going on for quite a bit of you is you guys are starting to get to this point where you can't ignore the people that are that are sabotaging you, because I'm really getting that for this group. Aries, there are some people that have masks on. They pretend to be happy for you, but they're not. And that's just what I'm getting. It's like you have put your life on hold because you're afraid to go within, because you're not listening to your intuition. I feel like you have this gut instinct that this person is lying, that this person's not being honest or real with you. But I think what's happening here is I think that you have been closed off from this. You are blocking your own intuition, because I think in order for you to explore that feeling that you get about this person would require you to realize that this person's not authentic. This person's, whatever this person promised you isn't going to happen. And I think that for you, you feel kind of afraid now, because what do? You were relying on this person to be there for you, you know? I think for a lot of you guys, you know, Aries, it's like you expected more from this person, and this person is putting on a fake mask. They're saying things, they're talking up their game, and you know, it's at this point where you need to just cut it out. You need to just separate from this person, from these group of people, because what's happening is you are bypassing your own emotions. You're not listening to your intuition. You're not listening to your true emotions when it comes to a specific person or a group of people. You guys have been kind of keeping it like it's really weird. It's like a thought will come up and you'll think, no, this person really wouldn't do that, and then you would just like ignore it. But deep down you kind of knew that they were capable of it, but you didn't want to explore it further because you're so afraid to think that you might have had a misjudging character. It's kind of like that. And Aries, you have the power to create something brand new. You don't have to withhold yourself. I feel like what's going on is you guys have been kind of in this state where this person has been in your life for so long that you're kind of afraid to let this person go. But you have the ability to do so. I think for some of you, you guys know what you need to do at this time. I think that you guys have had enough awareness that you know that the situation isn't going to be, it's not how you perceived it to once be. And I think that your perspective has shifted and changed, because it's like spirit has ripped the veil from your eyes and said, look, this is the person you're dealing with. And for a lot of you, I think that what's happening is you're in that defense mode, because you're defending, in a way, you're almost defending the other person, but you're also defending yourself. You're like, no, I know that I'm a good judge of character. Because oftentimes, Aries can be really good at judging people, because their first instinctual impression of you, it's like a gut feeling, and they know whether or not they like you or not. I feel like Aries are really good with stuff like that. And I think that in your mind, you know, you weren't listening and you really wanted this person to work out, that you were um, completely bypassing the reality of what was really going on. It's like you guys were missing the red flags in the situation. And what's really going on for you now is you are kind of, it's, you spoke your truth to this person, and I think this person didn't like it. And I think this person left. There was clearly a breakup, I feel like, with whoever this is, whether you took a break from a friend, a loved one, um, a partner, it doesn't really matter. But whatever happened here, it didn't work out. This person wasn't really giving you the actual attention you needed. I felt like this person was sneaky and went behind your back. For some of you, this isn't all of you. For those of you who are aware of this person could have cheated on you, and you just now found that out. That's like the shocking news, and you're like, I'm done. But there's something here where you have turned a blind eye for way too long, and now it's time that you let this person go and you have to rebuild. Because what's going on is, I think that this person has put you down, or this person has made you feel stupid or insignificant in some way. And I think that what's going on for a lot of my Aries is that they're starting to feel this tension within themselves, and they're starting to realize that maybe they were wrong all along. And that's really hard because you wanted the best. You were hoping the best in the situation. I think that for some of you, you tried to rebuild this situation over and over again. You tried to work on it and it wouldn't work. And it's because Spirit wants you to know that sometimes relationships are just here to teach you a lesson, and they're not here to stay forever. And what's happening is, this person caught you off guard. This person really threw you off your game. And I think that that's what is bothering you so much. I think that's where that obsessive behavior is at, because under the acts of the breakup and the separation, there's like that addiction, that codependence, that obsession, that possession, that control, the block and the resistant that you have, being resistant to change and being resistant to looking at it from a different point of view. And I think it's because here, again, you narrowed it down to that choice. This was my person. This was how I viewed things to be. And you weren't listening to your intuition. You weren't listening to that gut instinct that you were born with. And because of that, you feel like a fool. You felt like this person used and abused you in a way. It's like you felt like you weren't enough. And for a lot of my Aries, I think you tried to put a whole lot in, and I think you got nothing out of return. I think you felt like the world just chewed you up and spit you out. It's kind of what I'm getting. It's like you are just focusing so much on the negative aspect of what this relationship left behind. But Spirit wants you to see the two cups. Spirit wants you to see what the lessons were. And that's kind of what's going on for a lot of you right now, is what is going on? What exactly um did you want from this relationship? What needs did this person fulfill to begin with? Because for a lot of you, I felt like your needs weren't being met in the end. And I think that you having to let go of that connection and having to let go of that perspective too. I think the way you viewed this person, this person was hiding. Was um this person was just kind of camouflaging, and they were observing you and seeing how you were, and they would play on your emotions. And I think that for a lot of you, you have had to learn to let that go, because this was something in the past and you're still obsessing over it. Aries, I feel like for a lot of you, you guys are still obsessing over this, and this has already been over and done. Because what happened was, I think for a lot of you, you felt like it was unfair. You felt like there was no victory in this, and you felt like you lost so much and I feel like for a lot of you guys, it was a commitment with a person. For a lot of you, it was a relationship. For some of you, and I'm only getting this for a small group of you, this could have been a divorce, and seeing that your partner's true colors in the situation was kind of devastating for you. For others of you, it was again somebody cheating. It could also just be this person was lying and deceptive. This person would belittle you. Just it feels like a toxic energy, and it feels like this person just really had a persona, and this person had the mask on so tight that it fooled you. That in the end, when you finally kind of had that epiphany, you're realizing, wow, I feel so used. I feel so um thrown away, kind of like you just feel like lesser than when you first started the relationship. And Spirit wants you to know that this is a great time right now to take the time to heal yourself, to go within, because I think that what was going on was a lot of things were happening. For some of you, it was too much to admit to yourself at that moment. And so sometimes it's easier to play into the fantasy of what we really want than what reality is. 'Cause sometimes the truth is harsh and it's dark, and sometimes it leaves you with further cuts. It causes further it hurts, but it actually heals over time. So I think for what's going on for a lot of you, Aries, is I think what's happening is you guys are starting to come out to some truth about a person or a situation, and realizing that what you thought what you thought you saw, what you thought you perceived wasn't really real. And that was what was really hard for a lot of you guys, I think, to come into that point of view with. And for some of you guys, I think what was happening was this person spread lies about you, spread rumors about you. This person could have really ruined your reputation. Uh, this person really could have done some really bad damage, and you having to pick up and do damage control. That was really hard, and I'm getting that sense for you guys is having to take that time to sit down now and realize that, you know, you being persistent in this, you did everything you could in this relationship, and that it wasn't always you, it could have been the other person as well. I mean, two people play a part in this, but what I'm getting is you guys, I think, have really thought lowly of yourselves. You guys are starting to kind of question your own intuition because you thought you were following your intuition. But what was really happening was you were going with what the fantasy of what your ego or what you thought you wanted, and it wasn't real. And that happens to the best of us. That happens to even the smartest people in the world. Things like this happens, you know, you have to kind of see it from that point of view. Because what I'm getting for a lot of you is you guys really felt stupid in this situation. You feel like you made a mistake, and you feel like you can't really reel from that. And that's not always true. I think that what's going on for a lot of you guys is you guys have to just learn to see your own worth. And I think that right now, separation is a good time for you to introspect, because I think for a lot of you guys have been obsessing over this because it left core wounds for you. It left you missing the other person, or missing what you thought was real, or being unsure now of the future because now you feel like the world is an unsafe place. And what you have to learn is, you know, at this time, things happen for a reason, whether we like to hear it or not. And I think what's going on for quite a bit of you guys is you guys are having to learn to put down your defenses, having to learn to walk away from people that no longer serves you. If somebody around you is wearing a mask, where in your life are you wearing masks? You know, because you don't attract people unless, you know, you're doing that to some extent, to some capacity, you know? So learn to introspect, take this time, and it's going to not be easy, you know, it's easier said than done. But when you take the time to actually introspect, you know, I think that that's going to be what's going to help a lot of you guys out. I think so. That's like basically the main lesson I think for you guys to learn this month is to learn to see things for what they really are, and acknowledging that, you know, people make mistakes, acknowledging that it's okay to feel that sadness, and it's okay to give yourself this time. And, you know, I think for a lot of us, you know, when we feel betrayed, or we felt used, or we felt, yeah, I guess just more used, you know, it's easy to obsess over it because now you feel like, well, how did I get so tricked into this? And I think for a lot of you guys, it's having to just come to that acceptance. Accept that things happened, accept how they happened, and learn from that mistake. And again, it's not an easy task, but once you get past it, life will get so much easier, because it's almost like you moving past that problem in the long run is going to actually help you in so many ways. So for a lot of you guys, I think what's happening and needs to happen is you have to separate yourself from people who are fake. Separate yourself from people who don't really have your best interest at heart. Because I think what was happening is you're self-sabotaging because you're around people who sabotage. You're around people who lie, who deceive, who withhold information from you. And I think that that's caused you to make some of the decisions that you've made because you didn't get all the information either. So I think that this is a big life lesson for you to learn, Aries, is sometimes you can't just charge right into a relationship. Sometimes you have to gain the wisdom and get to know the person too, because, you know, those fire signs, they're just known to just run straight into it, you know. And I think that's what happened is, you went into this blindsided and this really shook you in the end. And I think that that's a lesson that spirit wants you to learn is sometimes you have to follow that gut instinct. You have to listen to yourself. And, it's okay to make mistakes. I think that this mistake in the long run is going to help you in the future to not make it further. So, that's kind of what I'm really picking up for a lot of you guys is just learn to slow down and learn to give yourself that time, learn to give yourself that respect, and learn to appreciate where you are in life, because sometimes it's too easy to just get swept up with the feelings, get swept up with what the other person is doing, that we oftentimes forget that we are a person too. And I think that for a lot of you guys are having to learn to get out of that codependent relationship. You're having to learn to see people for who they really are, and you're going to have to learn to form new friends, form new families, form a new relationship with somebody who is more loving, kind, and more respecting towards you, because everybody deserves to be happy and loved, and especially you. So I hope this resonated for you guys. I hope that this has helped you. I hope that this brought some kind of enlightenment or some kind of perspective for you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye.